what were they really? What really was David before he was chosen? What was Jeremiah? What was Isaiah? What were the prophets? They were despised, they were hated, they were outcasts. They said things that the society, the culture hated. The same culture, the descendants of the same culture look at them today and regard them as some kind of superheroes. Just because they're these legendary beings. Because they're not speaking in their day. If they were, they would regard them the same as their fathers. Enemies. Enemies of them being able to do their will. Find their level of acceptability, of greatness, just because they are something they have declared they want to be. And because they have others in the pack who strengthen that position for them. The way of lies, the way of man, the way of the religious institution that slaps a bunch of slogans and an intention on their institution, then calls it good because of that. Because they slap God all over their institution. And they're doing the will of God. The will of God. And therefore they claim that they're good. That they're right. That God favors them. And that's what the animals love, to uphold, to find and to uphold. So they get agreement because the animals want what they're offering. Of course. And if you surround yourself with enough people all saying the same thing, then anything can be true. And if you slap a bunch of slogans about God all over it, then it just makes it all the more respectable on the outside. But it's all part of the same thing. It's all part of the same process that's explained in Genesis 3. The animals forming a pack, conspiring against God to do their purpose, to do their will. It's what all the groups are. So what's the way of God? What is the real Jesus? If the Jesus that the world knows today is some made-up lie, some mythological being that the animals wanted, so they needed, and they needed, so they made it. Because they knew that, and they know that the real God is not marketable. The real God's not exploitable. The real God is not manipulable. So they created an acceptable God. They created acceptable gods. Gods who are for man, who are on man's side, who love what man does. The gods of Christianity love the pack, the conspiring together, whether they, doesn't matter what label they put on it. Doesn't matter what facts they claim make them correct. Christian, Muslim, Jew, Christadelphian, Mormon, Jehovah's Witness. Doesn't matter. It's all the same thing as Genesis 3 declares about man and his tendency and what he really loves. To get together with others who agree with him and say, yes, you're good. Feel safe. Feel safe in your agreement. And that's what the made-up Jesus God lifts up and agrees is good. What agrees with man in his heart and what he loves. To find his security in other men. The way of lies. Rules taught by men. This way of lies. So how was the Son really? The Son was alone. The Son learned to be alone to find his acceptance and acceptability with the one he couldn't see, the one who spoke to him, who was hidden from everyone who looked. The Son knew the way wasn't through man and the pack of animals, which is the tendency, which is what man loves, which is Genesis 3. The man, the woman, and the animal. What man really is, what man really loves. The way of lies. The real Son of God was alone. The suffering servant isn't just some theoretical label to discuss and say, oh, isn't it grand that Jesus was a suffering servant and he suffered for us? So let's all do the opposite and then slap the name Jesus on it and call it Jesus. Call it good. Call it what Jesus wants and favors. To do the opposite of what he did. Isn't it grand that we can all be saved by this suffering servant? So that we don't have to do what he did, which is completely against what he said. In reality, it agrees with man, it agrees with the pack, because the pack is what man wants. But Jesus said, follow me, give up what you love, follow me and be alone. I don't have a place to even sleep at night. Even the foxes have places to sleep. I don't have that. If you want to find the true Father, then come and follow me and suffer and be alone. And don't find what you are looking for with a group of animals, a pack